Finding the right footwear for your hike can be frustrating, confusing, and takes patience. It's kind of like dating me. So I decided to talk to an expert about footwear, not dating. I was in Malaysia just before my last Camino, so I chased down adventure wear specialist Ng at his store to ask him about fantastic footwear and how to find it. So Ng has selected a small range of shoes to illustrate some of the ideas of what we're talking about here today. So what are the advantages of one over the other?
So basically, actually, trail running shoes, the advantage is the lightness. So basically, it gives you a little bit of support during the off-trail terrain. So versus this is a walking shoe. The walking shoe itself is also light, but not as light as the trail shoes. It gives you better supports, so it doesn't twist easily compared to trainer shoes. Yeah.
And so why would you choose a mid-cut boot over a high-cut boot?
I see. So mid-cut boots is generally much lighter than a high-cut boots. And the other thing is that mid-cut is actually more suitable for those who are doing a long distance walking, but with light baggage. So if you carry heavy duty baggage, so it's good to get a higher cut, give you more better support, as well as the weight, give you better stability. Because most of us will be carrying light packs and averaging between 20 and 30 kilometers a day on a medium grade surface, we probably won't need the support of a high cut boot. My trainers have zero or very little rigidity compared to this, which is quite rigid. What is that? Basically, when you walk on the off terrain, so there'll be pebbles all around. If let's say you're not careful, if it's not rigid, you will easily twist and turn, and you get sprained your ankle. So that's why the trail shoes, normally off-road shoes, are much rigid compared to a trainer shoes. There is a hiker's saying that says a pound on the foot is worth 5 on the torso. What this means is that weight carried on the feet is disproportionately more exhausting than weight carried on the torso. This is a really good reason for you to find lighter footwear. Generally, leather boots are heavier than synthetics. The upside is that leather is more hard-wearing and water-resistant. A good compromise is footwear made with waterproof technical fiber, such as Gore-Tex, but you will pay extra for the privilege. If you're the sort of person who wears 2 socks, if you've got a orthotic insole, put them in and try it with all the socks that you're going to wear. It makes all the difference. It can make up to a half-size difference if you're wearing 2 pairs of socks and you've got an orthotic insole. So make sure that those things are on when you're trying your boot, because if you don't, then you're going to find yourself with a very squishy foot. Did you know that your feet swell throughout the day? That means that your feet are the largest near the end of the day, making it the best time to go booty shopping. Boot shopping. Basically, there are certain brands which is actually the build is much narrow compared to the other one, and in general, a boot's build is much wider than a trail build. Right. Yeah, my first Camino I started with a pair of shoes that were completely wrong. My second pair of boots were a pair of Keens, and they tend to be very wide, and that was incredibly good for me. So yeah, you do need to try on. You're just going to have to spend a day trying on different shoes and annoying your sales professionals. I would highly recommend getting your boots fitted by a professional. They know what they're talking about, and they know all the tips. So you must leave a room, a 1-finger room at the back, and you push it all to the front. Yeah. So that leave a front gap of 1 finger in front, so your toe would actually move freely in front, and it doesn't actually touch the tip of the shoes. So when you're descending, so it doesn't actually knock to the front. So that gives you a more room to your toes. Yeah. If you're ordering your footwear online, consider a brand you've already worn before, as most manufacturers use a consistent foot model over time, so the fit is likely to be similar. Your hiking boots should fit snug everywhere, but be tight nowhere. And make sure that there's some room for your toes to wiggle. Boop, boop, boop. Boop. And don't get your shoes last minute, right? Because you want to break them in. How long should you break them in for? Basically, for shoes, the walking shoes itself, generally it takes you about probably around about 2 weeks. Yeah.
And when you're breaking in your boots, be sure to train on all kinds of terrain. Rocky, muddy, grassy, and in all kinds of weather. And just for shits and giggles, you know what? Get out there with your fully laden pack, just so it's not a surprise for you when you finally hit the Camino. For my last Camino, I laced my boots in a way that took the pressure off my wide feet. This reduced the blisters and corns that I usually get. There are different ways of lacing for different foot maladies, so do some Google research and find what works for you. Have you had a footwear horror story? Tell us about it in the comments below, and please like and share. A big thanks to my Indiegogo and Patreon supporters,